Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we have a 2023 Ford Expedition and we're installing a 40-inch light bar. First thing you want to do is remove the 5.5mm screws that are along the side of the inner splash guard as well as on the bottom. There's only one on the bottom on the driver's side and there's two on the bottom on the passenger side. So these are 5.5mm. There's also 3 push pins that we have to remove. That's 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going to go ahead and take out the push pins. Just get a prying tool. So the next thing we want to do, there's 3 more screws that we have to remove. They are 10mm, and they hold the fender and the bumper together. So there's 2 that go vertically, and there's 1 that goes horizontally towards the front of the bumper. So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to take out 2 of these vertical. They're 10mm and they're gray. I'll show you when I take them out. So that's one on the edge, and there's one that's a little bit deeper. So the first one's somewhere here. There's a second one that's a little bit deeper within the fender. That's the second one that we've taken out. And then the third one is actually going this way. Well, what I like to do, I'm going to use an extension. I'm going to use, I think this is about a 12-inch extension. So this is the last one that was facing towards the front of the... Now let's go do the same thing on the passenger side, and then we're going to remove the bolts on the bottom. So now we're on the passenger side. I wanted to show you the 2 screws that we're going to remove on the passenger side, and there's only one that is on the driver. So this is for the inner liner. That's 1, and this is 2. The driver's side liner is a little bit different. It only has 1 5.5mm screw on the corner here, and then it's going to separate the liner from the bumper itself. I want to see this is completely free. So now we're actually ready to take it off. I'm gonna grab it and pull it out, and there shouldn't be anything else. Now it's just clips on top. I'm gonna separate the one on the passenger side, and then I'll work down the middle. Lift this up a little bit just to release these tabs. I'm gonna pull it up and outward. So now we can go ahead and remove it. So the last thing we have to do is just disconnect the harness for all the lighting and all the electronics in the bumper. So all you do is just pry this, lift this latch up, and that separates the 2 parts of the harness. So now that we unplugged the harness and got all the clips and bolts removed, we can go ahead and pull the bumper off. So now that we removed the bumper, we can go ahead and remove the grille. I see a couple bolts here, so it's a 10mm on the bottom. From the top, I see 4 10mm bolts here. There's 2 more nuts that are holding things on. There's one on the driver and one on the passenger. Let's start working on the clips. And there's clips here. It's a nice pry tool. It's plastic, so it's not going to damage anything. So you kind of go through all the clips. Okay, and then right here, the side. So now that all the clips are removed, we can go ahead and remove the grille. So now that we have the grille taken apart, let's go ahead and show you what brackets we're going to use from M&R and how we're going to mount the light bar. The bolts that we're going to attach the mounts to would be the factory bolts here. These are Torx. We're going to remove these, we're going to slide the bracket through, and then we're going to install the light bar through it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the M&R supplied bolt and washer. I'm going to feed it through the M&R bracket, and I'm going to hand thread it. I want to still be able to adjust it right before we mount the light bar onto the grill. So I'm going to take the second supplied nut and washer, and I am going to finger thread it on the other side. So the M&R bracket does have an adjustability here. You can slide the light bar up and down when you mount it, so that way you can align it depending on the grill style that you have, so that way it goes with the opening. So for the one we have, I think the best option would be to get it like this. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it, and then we are going to reuse the same bolts from the previous step that we've taken out. So let's go ahead and flip this over, see if we like how we installed it and how it's going to shine through the grill. So let's go ahead and see how it looks on the car. I do like the placement of the light bar, so we're going to go ahead and start putting everything back so that way we can get this thing wired up. Because we use a single function white light bar, the wire that comes out of the light bar has two strands. It has a red, which is a power wire, and then it has a black, which is the ground. If you purchased a dual color two function light bar, it's going to have an additional power wire, which is blue in color, for the amber DRL. The wiring system that we're going to use is the wireless module. So I want to kind of go over it and show you how we're going to connect it and go through all the steps. What you get here will be the actual module itself. This module allows you to connect 8 different power sources, so it'll take care of multiple accessories. And then the main benefit of it is that it's wireless. You do not have to drag any wires inside the vehicle in order to control the module itself. And it's super easy to install. All you need is just a positive and negative to the battery, and we connect our accessories to it. So when looking at the module itself, you do have a positive here. So this is where the positive cable is going to go. You have a ground that you're going to connect to here, and then it just gets connected to the battery. So here's the additional wiring that you get with the kit. You do have the main fuse here, which is an 80 amp fuse. When I do any type of wiring, I like to disengage the fuse so that way there's no power going through it. So right now when it's in line, that means that there is power going through the module. So what you want to do is press the button so that way it snaps out of the way. So now it's in a reset mode and there's going to be no power. We're going to connect this to the battery. We're going to connect this side to the module itself. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to feed it under. I'm going to loosen the positive terminal. Slide this here. And we're going to go ahead and tighten that bolt. Let's feed the extra slack through. And we're going to do the same thing for the ground. We're going to feed the black cable through it. Tighten this bolt. Okay, now we're ready to connect this to the battery. Okay, so when we come to the battery, we're going to go ahead and loosen the 10mm bolt. We're going to slide the positive terminal underneath it. And we're going to go ahead and tighten it. So now we're going to have power to our module. We're going to do the same thing for the ground. So now we have the power and ground connected to our module. So the only thing that's left is to connect the light bars to the module itself. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the light bar on a 20 amp fuse. Here it is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen the positive and the negative terminals. We're going to connect the red and the black on the circuit that we chose. Okay, so everything should be powered on, everything should be correct. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn the master fuse on. But there is one thing that I want to go over, and a lot of my customers are having questions about. So for this module, the first time you turn it on, you do have to pair the remote to the actual module. If you read the instruction that comes with it, you have to press it 5 times. This is the 5th key, which is this one. We're going to press it 5 times after we flip the switch until the LED on the 5th switch is going to start flashing. That's when you know that the remote is paired to the module. So let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, so you see this blinking now? So now we see that this remote is paired with a unit. Now that it's paired, let's go ahead and turn on the light bar. This is the button that we chose. Let's take a look. And everything's correct. We're going to go ahead and put the bumper back on, zip tie it, and mount the control board, and go on an adventure. Thank you guys for watching, and I know you're going to love the product.